Hi, my name is Shannon. I am a young adult librarian with Pikes Peak Library District, and my pronouns are she, her. Today we are going to be making an apple pie filling, and I'm going to walk you through all of the instructions on how to do it. Now you may be asking, why aren't you just making an apple pie? Well, the easy thing is that apple pie filling goes into all sorts of desserts that you can make at your home, whether it be a pie, apple turnovers, apple blossoms, or even other apple-related desserts. This recipe is pretty basic. I'm going to go over the ingredients and the steps on how to make it, and then even tell you about how you can store it and what apples are best to use when cooking for an apple pie filling. Let's get started. Alright, so the basic recipe for an apple pie filling involves all of the ingredients that you see here. You'll need about 7 to 9 apples. I only have 4 there, but the others will come when I am cooking. You'll need a tablespoon of lemon juice. I just get mine fresh from a lemon. You need half a cup of packed light brown sugar. Also 1/4 cup of granulated sugar. You'll need a teaspoon and a half of ground cinnamon and 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. A pinch of salt, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and then 3/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of either fresh apple cider or water. You won't see the apple cider on here because I'll be using water. You'll need 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract and 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. All of that right here is what you can see, and you can look below for instructions and amounts. Alright, so as you can see, I've washed my apple, and now I'm just going to take a peeler and I'm going to peel the skin off of it so that we're cooking without the skin on it. Now I'm using a Granny Smith apple. It's this delicious green color. It's got a really nice tart taste to it. Granny Smiths are really great for baking. You'll also find that Honeycrisp and Gala apples are also very good apple choices, but generally Granny Smith is the most popular. This has to do with the fact that they're a harder apple and they retain some of their flavor even once they've been cooked with the nutmeg and sugar. So I'm just gonna peel this. A good nice round on it, but we're gonna get the rest off little by little. And then after we peel our apples, we are going to slice them and core them and slice them. Core just means taking out that middle where all of the apple seeds are. And it usually means that this part here is going to go away as well. So once an apple is peeled like this, I'm just going to cut it in half. Like that. And then this middle part is what we're going to core out. Now you can core a variety of ways. I'm just going to make a little slice that way, pull out. This way. Looks like it maybe. We're gonna cut there, there, and then we can get the rest of it out right there. So then it has been cored, and we've got nice, good slicing pieces. And we're going to repeat this with every single apple that we have. We are going to peel and core all of them. All right, so now that our apples are cored and peeled, we're going to slice them into smaller pieces so that we can cook them in a pan. You'll see here they're really small, so I'm actually just gonna keep them to about 1/4 of an inch. And you'll notice I'm holding the knife like this keeps better control, and my fingers are curled here to kind of create a brace. Cutting. So these pieces are excellent for a pie filling. If you were doing something smaller, like an apple turnover, you might cut them into even smaller bite-sized pieces like that. We're just going to keep doing that with all of our pieces. Like I said, only about 1/4 of an inch. Ooh, there went one, it went flying. A little bit of a piece here. Alright, so your next thing that you're going to do is you are going to put in your brown sugar into a heavy lidded pot, your regular sugar, cinnamon and nutmeg, one tablespoon of lemon juice, and finally, you are going to put in all of your apples. Now, once you add all of this together, you are going to mix it all up, stir. You can see the color and the sugar collecting on the apples. For those pieces of brown sugar, you want to kind of break them up. Mix. It smells very aromatic. And like I said, we're just going to let it mix together, and you are going to let it sit like this for 15 minutes. All the way to 15 minutes. Alright, so these apples have been sitting in here for about 15 minutes. I'm going to give them one more mix here real fast. Get everything in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of water to the mixture. Alright, so 3/4 of a cup of water, or if you wanted to, you could also do this with apple cider. I'm using water because that's what I had in my house. And we're just going to mix it. And then we're going to turn the oven onto a medium heat. Just a medium heat. We're going to go a little past the medium there. And it's going to start to heat up. Now what we're going to do is we're going to heat up the apples until they start to soften. This might take about 10 minutes, but you'll want to stir your apples occasionally so that they cook evenly. And so we just turned on the heat here. I'm going to mix this one more time with the water. Get some of these apples that have stuck to the side of the pot. keep an eye on this for 10 minutes. All right, so while your apples are cooking, you are going to make a slurry with cornstarch and water. Now you're going to do 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and you'll do 2 tablespoons of water. Now, if you are using apple cider instead of water, you'll also do that. Now it says to whisk. I don't have a whisk, so we're just going to use a fork, and we're going to do a nice little. Make sure you're getting the cornstarch at the edges, and then if you feel it at the bottom, I can whisk it, whisk it. Alright, so our apples are nice and cooked and soft, and what we're going to do is we're going to add that cornstarch and water to the cooked apples, and we're going to mix it in, and we're going to continue cooking it for a little longer. And I'm just going to mix it like this. Now cornstarch is a thickening agent, so it actually is going to make the liquid that you see more into a sauce that goes over it. It's that nice gooey sauce that you see in apple pies or in apple turnovers and other apple desserts. And we're going to turn the heat down just a little. We're going to do it until the mixture is thickened, which is about 2 to 3 minutes. Alright, so this got cooked, and you'll notice when I pull here, it's kind of slowish to fill in the gaps. That means like it's really solidified, it's thickened, and you've got a really nice thick applesauce in there. And then the last steps are going to remove from the heat, which I've already done. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mix in our 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter and 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. We're going to mix that in. Now the heat of the apple mix should melt our butter, and then we will have a very good apple pie filling. Now that your butter and your vanilla extract have been mixed in, it'll smell delicious. And you might be thinking that it's okay to put it in the fridge, but no. What we'll want to do is we'll want to let it cool completely, and then we're going to transfer it to a glass container such as a mason jar or a Pyrex dish, and it'll be able to stay in your fridge until you're ready to make a pie. Alright, now that it's cool completely, I put it into an airtight container where it can sit in a fridge for up to 7 days or in a freezer for 3 months. Once you're ready to bake your pie or your turnovers or whatever you're making with this recipe, you'll just follow the instructions for puff pastry or crust or anything like that so that you have a delicious dessert for your family. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you're ever looking for something to do, the library is filled with all sorts of cookbooks that contain recipes just like this. My name is Shannon, and thank you for tuning in to